Andrew Tate has ruined a generation of men. Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Andrew Tate is a social media personality who has like the worst views on women, on just being a man in general. He kind of just spouts a lot of shit.
It's not about being property. It's about the fact that she belongs to him and the intimate parts of her body belong to him because they're in a relationship. And if she wants to sell those, he has a stake in those intimate parts of her body.
This content is framed as helping men become men and becoming like stronger and becoming more alpha male. And because of this, he's curated an audience of men who really don't have any direction in the world, who think that Andrew Tate is the person they need to listen to. And because of the virality that Andrew Tate has managed to achieve, a lot of other men have tried to emulate him and also make content similar to Andrew Tate. He's spouted loads of minions who are also just projecting the worst views possible onto the world, and in this video we're going to cover the worst Andrew Tate clones, and the further we get into this video, the worse the clones get, so stay tuned. I want to learn how to be a true alpha male in this video. So the first Andrew Tate clone I want to cover is a bloke called Luke Belmore. This guy is hugely famous in America and very similar to Andrew Tate. He says a lot of mediocre stuff that he thinks is groundbreaking.
You are what you think about. Everything that you think about, you become. You become what you think about.
Yeah, no what do you mean? Everything you think about, you become. And everything you become, you think about. What does that even mean? Yes, of course, that's just the basics of being a human being. I think I'm hungry. So that means I am hungry, because I am what I think about. I love that in all of these alpha male edits, they always like overlay like someone from a mob film or something. Like it's Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or Tony Soprano. It's always just the same characters. Or like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle.
Like this bloke has just copied this off a Pinterest board or something. Like this is the most basic thing. This is the best piece of advice you've ever been given. That thoughts lead to actions. Oh, I need a guess what? I'm gonna go to the toilet. Best advice I was ever given. What does it mean? Like, why is this on a podcast? Do we really need this on a microphone? Is someone watching this going, I've never thought of it like that? Every time I think about doing something, it makes us want to do it. This man is a genius.
So everything begins in the mind. If you can control and wield your mind, you can very much determine your destiny. Everything is in your control. Broke people and successful people are both self-made.
Oh, a lot of people being called out now. A lot of people have just been called out. Guys, if you're broke, right, you're in your overdraft, that's your fault, actually. Not my words, Luke Belmore's words. That's self-made. Self-made millionaires and self-made overdrafters, right? We're all in this together. He also said everything is in your control. So, you know, if you're having like, you've got like a terminal illness, just remember, like, thoughts lead to action. So if you just think, oh, right, this isn't terminal, I'm gonna beat it, and you've already beaten it, because literally thoughts lead to action. It's the first rule of Alpha Male Club, guys, come on!
When was the last time you sat down with a blank piece of paper and just like brainstormed? Ever heard that? I got a problem at the top. Lit right out the problem. Give me 100 solutions for that problem. Oh, I don't know what to, chill the out. What is gonna happen? Relax, G.
Why is there a crowd of people around this guy as if he's like a prophet? This is hilarious. That was the most mediocre statement, and he thought it was like groundbreaking. He thought he was like Martin Luther King there. You ever thought about just like writing down, man? I just thought of that on the top of my head, man. I'm a genius. Also, I feel like that's counterproductive. If you write down like a problem you've got and then you have to write down 100 solutions to it, I feel like you just need one. Like, let's say, oh, I've wrote down a problem. Me bin's full. I don't want 100 solutions to that. There's only one solution. Oh, I guess I'll take the bin out. There we go. We're sorted. Do we need 100 solutions? How long's the piece of paper? Christ, I'm gonna have to chop down a tree in me back garden. We need to print more paper. We need to solve more problems, more ways to solve problems, because Luke said. I think what he's trying to get at is if you're like keeping a problem in your mind, like it's overwhelming, so you can write it down. Just the way he says it is just so funny.
I spent, in fact, it was about 8 to 12 months sitting around a fire. Literally, it was my job to sit around the fire and we were just masterminding. I would bring different people.
Sorry, I thought he was going to say masturbating there. Yeah, it was my job, man. To just sit around that fire and just whack into it. 6 to 12 months I did that. No breaks! Right? What's your excuse? I was into the fire day and night. When I was crying, I was still doing it because the fire said so. I looked straight into the fire's eyes and I just kept going. That would be a weird listing as a job on Indeed. Yeah, we need a fire Well, last one just couldn't take it anymore. Kids these days, they want to be influencers. They want to be footballers. What happened to the firers? We haven't got any many of them kicking about anymore. Dying breed they are. He said mastermind, guys. He didn't say masturbation.
That would come spend a few weeks with us. We literally sit down and mastermind. I didn't make money for that period of time. We were making, 100, 200K a month, light work.
Sorry, right. First off, so you were spending 6 to 12 months every single day around a fire, just masterminding, not masturbating. How do you have the time for that? And also, why does the fire come into this? Is it like Game of Thrones, like the Lord of Light? Like you see what the future in the fire? I have no idea why you need to be around this fire. Also, who's like, some people need money now. Talking about money, you said you're not making that much money. You're making 100 to 200K a month. Some people don't even get that in like 4 or 5 years. Wish I got paid that much just to mastermind or masturbate.
I don't watch people's stories on Instagram. I don't give a damn. Like, I don't care about anybody's pancake at the souffle shop and whatever, dude. I don't give a damn. I'm living my own reality. And people are out here worrying about what I do. Don't worry about what I do. Watch the podcast and go level up. Go touch some grass. Go do a handstand. Go eat some organic oranges. Go drink some chlorophyll and some sparkling water or some spring water and go read a book.
I know this guy posts loads of Instagram stories, so him like taking the piss out of people that, watch Instagram stories, are you not kind of taking the piss out of your own audience? Because you're basically saying, I don't have enough time to see someone's Instagram story, so like why should anyone else, so why should people look at yours then? It's like subconsciously you're just taking the piss out of your audience here. Also, checking out Instagram stories takes no time at all. You're allowed to have a break in your day. If you just want to kind of just not think of anything and just doom scroll for a little bit just to give yourself time to relax. That's fine. You don't need to be productive 24 hours of the day.
Reasons why I don't watch movies. I don't like people programming my mind. I like to program my mind by myself.
It's literally called a TV program.
What does that even mean? Surely you can be clever enough to watch a movie and go, this wouldn't happen in real life. Like, if you were watching Star Wars, how is Star Wars gonna program your mind? There's not lightsabers in real life. Like, I don't understand what you're getting at here. If you're not smart enough to distinct a movie from real life, should you be really giving other people advice?
Every now and then, not often, I see a comment. It's usually a fat that has something to say about my life, my journey, my opinions, my thoughts.
Because remember, guys, if you are overweight, your opinion's invalid on anything. Okay, according to Luke Belmore.
I go to their profile, I evaluate their life, and they're broke. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near them. I wouldn't want to have any sort of traits that they inhibit. I wouldn't want any part of their life. So why would I listen to them?
The one thing that I always see with these Andrew Tate clones is they kind of put money above everything, and that's how they kind of rate people. Like, if this guy was speaking to someone who doesn't earn that much money, like, he would think they're beneath them, but they might have, like, stronger family relationships. They might, like, volunteer at, like, I don't know, pet shelters, just do like a lot of work for the community. But like Luke doesn't value that, so you're basically useless to him and he thinks nothing of you. It's almost like money is above everything, and I feel like you can never be fully satisfied if money's your only goal, because once you reach your your monetary level of money, you're gonna want more after that, because it's money. It's not like a feeling, it's just like an object. Damn, we're getting physiological. Philosophical. There we go. Got there eventually. Maybe I need to give people advice. Moving to the next level of Andrew Tate cloneness, I want to cover this person who I think lives out in Dubai. Of course, where else would you live if you want to emulate Andrew Tate? I believe he's called Hassan, and his advice to especially young men is really alarming in my opinion.
Spend all the first money you make on a nice car. Never be that kind of guy who reinvests his money into his business. The first 50K you make has to be spent on a BMW M4 or a Mercedes C-Class, because when you spend the money on these cars, it gives you so much more energy to push hard and work harder on yourself. Too many people reinvest it into their business, they hire the wrong members of staff, and they end up losing money. Spend all your money on nice cars, on nice watches, and you'll be 10 times more successful.
What? Looking at this guy here, you'd think he's taking the piss, but he's deadly serious, and you're gonna see that with the rest of his TikTok. If you make £35,000, okay, and that's all the money in your bank account, don't spend that all on a car. Because if you've got a business, not only are you gonna have to pay corporation tax if you want to take the money out of your business, you're gonna have to pay personal tax. Basically, you're just throwing money away. He's also saying not to invest the money into people who can help your business grow, because you're throwing it away. Getting a cause, just throwing it away, really. Like, this is terrible financial advice. He should not be giving financial advice to people people when he's doing, like, he's sitting in a pool with a dressing gown on. What about this screams, I want to be like him? Like, I get what he's saying. Like, if you've got, like, a nicer car and you're into cars, it's gonna make you feel better. But if you've got, like, a huge monthly payment and also your insurance on top of it, it's just gonna stress you out if you can't actually afford it and it's all the money in your account. It's just so interesting to see these guys when they do, you know, become a little bit successful. They can't just, like, keep being successful in their own space. They have to tell everybody how to live their lives as well, just because it's worked for them.
When you start making some money, buy a nice car. If you have 50k, buy an M3 and a C-Class Mercedes. Have 2 cars. Stop trying to save every dollar you make. Most of you are too frugal. You keep all the money in your bank and you're afraid of buying a nice lunch, buying a nice dinner, taking your mum out. Start spending more money. Use the cash you have to live a better life.
What the why would I buy 2 cars that I have no money? I haven't got enough money to spend on insurance because I've bought 2 really expensive cars, so I can't even drive them. Obviously, I don't know this guy's background, but I feel like, you know, if people watching this who haven't come from money, you know, make a lot of money, you're going to be so afraid that, you know, you're going to lose this money because you're not used to it. So I wonder if someone's always kind of had money, if, like, that's the reason they're kind of more carefree with it. I don't know. I'm trying to get in the psyche of this guy's mind, why he would suggest this to young people. Because some young people might watch this and go, oh yeah, I'll buy 2 cars. And then they're just crippling themselves financially.
Move to a competitive city if you want to change your life fast. Move to Dubai or Los Angeles or Miami. These places are going to force you to level up. There are people here making your yearly income in a day, whereas most of you are living in Coventry or Sunderland or Newcastle. These places aren't going to force you to grow. You're allowed to be comfortable in places like this because everybody around you is average. When you're in Dubai and you see the level of wealth here, it's going to force you to go harder.
You cheeky bastard! I'm gonna have to let me Nana know that Hassan thinks she's average. Yes, Hassan, that's ruined her day. I've got to compete with me Nana now, have I? Christ, can I compete with a state pension? This advice, in my opinion, just comes a little bit from an insecurity. Like, you're always trying to compete with everyone around you. Surely that's not the key to a happy life, because there's always going to be someone that is better than you, or like more, like richer than you, or just has a better car than you. There's always going to be somebody. I do get that if, you know, if you're challenging yourself, like, you're gonna, you know, achieve more, possibly. But this is just such a toxic way to do it. I don't feel like you need to move to Dubai to become successful. And also, why is success just determined to money and just getting, like, nice cars? That's not success for a lot of people. Like, you don't get many years on this planet, you know? Like, I'm sure a lot of people would like to spend as much of their time as possible around their friends, around their family, and I think they'd prioritize that over moving to a city to do better than people they don't even know. It makes no sense in my head.
Everyone on the internet is crying that GTA 6 got delayed by another year. Who cares about GTA 6? Focus on your own life. The only reason why you are looking forward to playing the game is because you get to drive fast cars, have fun, go do what you actually want to do in real life. Why not just delay the gratification?
That's actually so true. Like, the only reason I play GTA is to do the stuff that I actually want to do in real life, like run over grannies and like, you know, shoot at people out of helicopters. Those are the 2 things that I aspire to do in real life, but I just keep doing it on GTA because I can't do it in real life. One day. Have you thought that people just like having fun, maybe it's with friends, and then GTA is an avenue to achieve that? Not everyone wants to go to a rooftop bar and have a shisha in Dubai. Can't people have other interests? What makes me think that these people aren't actually as happy as they portray is they're trying to make everyone else, like, they're always obsessed with making everyone else's life the same as theirs. Like, if you were really happy, you wouldn't really care what anyone else is doing because you're just comfortable with how you're getting on with your own stuff. That's just how I see it. And this kind of content makes people feel bad about their own lives. It's not inspiring. Like, you're making people feel bad just because they want to game. Like, if that's their interest, if that's what they enjoy, then just let them do it.
Why do some of you guys live in Michigan or Coventry or Sunderland? Either live in a place like Dubai or Miami or Paris or London, or live somewhere like Bali or Thailand, Vietnam, somewhere cheap. Why would you live somewhere in the middle where it's basically kind of expensive but you get nothing in return? Why would you live in Michigan? There's nothing there in Michigan.
The only part of this video that I agree with is why would you live in Sunderland. That I'll give him props for that. I don't understand. I think because this guy has had the opportunity to be very free from like a young age and, you know, have the ability to just kind of do what he wants. He thinks everyone else has that ability, but, you know, a lot of people have responsibilities. They can't just get up and just move to a place. A lot of it comes down to money a lot of the time, but sometimes it might be people care for someone. Not everyone has the ability to do this, yet the people that do it think everybody has the ability to do it. And if you take anything from this video, video, I just want you to take that you don't need to listen to these people. You don't need to let them make you feel bad about your own life. Like, you know, being normal is good. You don't have to, you know, make millions of pounds or drive like a Brabus G-Wagon to be happy.
If university is so good, why does nobody who graduates university have a McLaren 720S with a Richard Mille on the rest? Because university doesn't make you rich. It's to keep you a bot. It's to keep you working normal, crappy corporate jobs. Nobody's happy in their corporate job. No one will ever say, yeah, bro, it's going really, really amazing. I'm enjoying my life. Because it's not meant for enjoyment or living a good life. It's meant just to make your bosses richer. It's a complete waste of time. Unless you're studying medicine or law, quit uni. And that's coming from Hassan Haider.
Well, you heard it here first. If you're going to university and you're not doing medicine or law, what are you actually doing? Because Hassan thinks nothing of you. Now you've been told. God, I bet you feel nothing about your life now. That's enough of Hassan. I can't take any more. Moving on to the next level of Andrew Tate cloneness. We have a guy who he has the self-proclaimed status of owning the fastest growing podcast. So obviously, if you've got the fastest growing podcast in the world, like, everyone should know who you are because podcasts are so huge now. This guy is called Mikey Mellon, I believe that's pronounced. Apologies if I've pronounced this wrong. And he does a podcast called The Blue Tick Show, where I think he basically gets like people that have been in prison, people that have businesses, like OF girls. I think it's like that kind of territory of podcast, and interviews them. Now, obviously, when I saw in his bio that he has the fastest growing podcast, I was like, I want to just fact check this to make sure, you know, the numbers are up here. And he gets like 397,000 long views a month on YouTube, which, you know, that is like, you know, I'm not going to view shame or anything. That's a good number, but it's nowhere near the fastest growing podcast in the world. I'm trying to think of a podcast just off the top of my head. Theo Von, okay? Theo Von's podcast gets 30.5 long views a month. So I'd argue that that's a little bit more of a faster growing podcast. Just a slither. Right, just a little bit. But I want to more focusing on his kind of solo content that he started doing on TikTok, because I find his advice hilarious. It's giving Andrew Tate a run for his money.
Cheated on you because she found better. If you're the best, she won't cheat. Become the best version of yourself, and then she won't find better. Start locking in and realizing if you're getting cheated on, it's your fault.
So true, bestie. So true. I've just been cheated on 10 times behind me back, and you know what? It's all my fault. I just didn't lock in. If I locked in, I would have never got cheated on. If only I'd invested in Bitcoin in 2013, I would never have been cheated on. Idiot. What a tool. If you get cheated on, okay, you know, I think 9 times out of 10, if not 99% of the time, it's not your fault. If 100% of the time, even if you're having issues, you know, if someone cheats on you, that's on them. That's their decision that they've managed to do. What he's basically saying here, if you're not like making loads of money and you're not like locking in and working really hard, then if your partner cheats on you, it's your fault, which I just think is such a toxic kind of message to put out to young people in general, not just men, because it's putting this constant pressure on men that they need to like lock in somehow and do something like extraordinary just to have like a stable relationship, which is not the case, you know?
I think your woman wants a broke man. You sit there and promise her the world, but do all about it. Start locking in, building something that's going to stop your girl cheating on you.
Who heard this guy? The thing is, what does lock in mean? Like, people go, yeah, you got to lock in, man. I'm like, what does that, what do you mean? Like, how do I lock in? I just work a 9 to 5. I can't do anything else. What do you mean lock in? Bro, I'm a waiter. How am I meant to lock in? What? I'm going to work every day. Am I not already locked in? This term locked in is so funny to us. Again, the running theme with this video is all of these people, like, they put all of their worth into their, like, how much is in their bank account. So if their bank account is, like, low, they're like, oh, yeah, well, I guess you can cheat on us now, you know? Like, if their bank account goes below, I don't know, 50 quid, is that giving, like, their partner permission to then go and sleep with someone else because it's their fault? Like, what is this advice you're putting out to the world here? And also, why is it so angry? Like, he's so angry here as if, like, this is a personal experience. Top comment. I beg you, shut up. You're literally 30 on TikTok. I mean, I'm just kind of covering myself here because, you know, I'm edging closer to that age. I'm not really. I might be 30 on TikTok one day. I don't want this to come back and bite us in the arse. But I won't be doing this, okay? Damn, what happened to you, bro? Lol. So I guess his audience really aren't really happy with these videos he's pumping out.
Posting hustle quotes while living off your mum's fridge is not entrepreneurship. You're not a boss. You're an unemployed man with Canva.
Is that it? But how is this any better than people posting motivational quotes on their story or something? Like you doing 6-second videos those are... surely they're in the same league. Like, surely you've got to have a good long look at yourself before you're taking the piss out of other people, you know, just putting an inspiring quote on their story. They're not hurting anyone. If they want to do that, that's fine, right? Like, they're literally not hurting anyone. Just put... It might actually help someone, you know, if they just put a little thing like, you know, life's for living, you're amazing. You know, someone puts that on the story, someone might read that and go, you know what, life is for living. I'm gonna ring me mum. That's a success. More of a success than what you get from this video.
Flexing in Dubai, but your bedroom still got Avengers bed sheets. You're out there riding camels, posting skyline pics, while your direct debits are bouncing back home. That ain't luxury, bro. That's delusional.
That was too specific. Sorry, like, Avengers bed sheets? Like, also... That's pretty cool. Like, having Avengers bed. Oh, see, that's the thing when you're in, like, a relationship for, like, over a certain amount of years where you're just completely comfortable with your partner. You can suggest things like that, and they won't dump you. Like, if I just say to Chloe, do you want to get Avengers bed sheet? She'd be like, if it makes you happy. I'd be like, cheers for it. Thanks, love. Iron Man? Oh, that'll be good, won't it? Let's get Thor. Right, the hammer. Yeah, I know you love it. Like, why does it matter if they've got Avengers bed sheets? You know, that might be quite cool. Imagine being a millionaire and you've got Avengers bed sheets. Oh, like, just because you've got Avengers bed sheets doesn't mean you're broke. I also love that this guy has got the book The Secret behind him. I also have that book, guys, right? I can't lie. Right, so I think his is actually bigger than mine. His must have more secrets in it. I don't know. I bought that book to read when I was on holiday, and then I, like, never finished it, so I guess I, like, never found out the secret. So I probably do need to read that again. This guy clearly has found the secret. He's probably read it back to front 4 times. This man lives in the Chamber of Secrets.
Chase women, lose money. Chase money, women chase you. Focus on building yourself. Become high value. Then you'll never have to chase again. Kings don't beg.
I feel like I just have maybe it's like these guys are actually spouting, you know, good advice, right? I just feel like I have a different approach to things. Why would you want to be with somebody that only likes you for your money? You know, if your goal of getting money is to get, you know, girls, are they really the girls that you want? Because then what happens if you lose your money? They're gonna, you know, that type of person's gonna leave you. It goes the same for men. Like, if a man's only with a girl for her money and she loses the money, he's just gonna leave. I think it's just the space that all of these kind of creators exist in. They all value money so much, even like both the men and the women. So nothing else is really of value here. If you've got followers and you've got money, you can basically marry someone. Okay, moving on to our second last and the second biggest Andrew Tate 2.0 clone.
If you're not trying to date like underage girls and you're trying
Okay, straight away, off to a great start.
women who are 22, 23 years old are not attracted to TikTok boy hair. They're attracted to more just of the masculine style, especially basically how polarity works is the more masculine you are, the more feminine of the women you will attract. What I'd say is, in general, if you want to be attractive to women, 21, 22, 25 years old, think about just being more of a primal caveman. Especially if you want to go for more of the feminine girls. So, for example, if you wanted some of the most feminine girls ever, you would want to look like a caveman, Dagestanian, cauliflower ear type of guy, because that's probably as masculine as you can look in the modern day.
Oh, so true. Finally, there's a king spouting some truth on this website. So true. If you want a really feminine girl, you need to be a caveman. You need to walk around just going, ah, and shit. Oh. That's what women want. I just like that he kind of groups like every single woman in this category. Like every single, like the more feminine you are as a woman, like the more masculine of a man you want. I feel like you're just generalizing really, really heavily here. You know what I think? I think that like every single kind of woman just has their own taste and every single man has their own taste. And people don't need to dictate to look like a certain way to get somebody because that's like what you think they want. I imagine a lot of women who are watching this video would be like, that's just like, what? Like, I feel like I'm quite feminine and I'm not attracted to that, you know, look. Like, where have you got the data for this? Like, have you went out in the public and asked questions? How have you managed to obtain this market research? Basically, guys, if you want to, like, marry someone like Taylor Swift, just go and live in a cave, right? And just throw rocks into the sea and just kind of, like, I don't know, just, like, hit your chest a couple of times. They'll come. They'll come. Don't worry. You might have to wait about 50 years, but they'll come.
20% of men are literally on the wall. Like 20% of men, they fap and they don't nut into tissues. They literally just do it all over the floor and the bed sheets. The bottom 20% of men are wall comers.
Sorry? Wall comers? I know, like, trust us. I've heard of the, you know, the fire baiters. Okay, I've heard of that breed. They have been mentioned. But the wall comers? Lads, come on, right? This is a safe space, right? I think there's like 30% of my audience are lads. This is a safe space. Just let us know in the comments. Have you? Have you? Right? I'll not tell, just I need to know. Because I don't personally, I don't think that someone is, you know, just in their own time, you know, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, treat myself. I don't think someone is going to the wall and going, oh, it's on my wall. Must be in the 20%. I've come on the wall again, man. It's alright, just put a frame on it. It'll stick. Oh, what? No chance 20% of men at home are doing that on their wall. Not a single chance. Again, how have you managed to get the market research here? Are you just walking past houses and just waiting? Just like, oh, there's a couple of spots on that wall. Know what he's been up to. Ripping the head off it. Oh, I'm going to have to check around my house. Like, I'm rented. I want to know if the people before us were wall comers. Why are these men giving advice to people when they think people are doing this on their walls, man?
From 20 to 50 is like the really weird guys. They just stink. They're just weird as f. You barely see them out or anything. They're the kind of guys who watch all the time and everything. 50s, 70s, kind of like the guys who just are those weirdly just normal, who still play some video games. They're still kind of just like, you know, just there, but they're kind of invisible and everything. 70 to about 85 or 90%. It's kind of like the guys who are doing some bits, going to the gym, making some progress, getting a little bit better with talking to girls, being able to maybe approach but just get rejected. And then when you get to the top 10% of men, bro, changes. You're sleeping with at least one woman a week if you wanted to. The guys are doing everything. You can't be in the top 10% and still be playing video games. It goes hard to compete with these guys.
So to be in the top 10% of men, you have to like sleep with one woman a week and not play video games. What metrics are we judging men on here? Also, like why are you making men compete with other men? You don't need to like compare yourself to anyone else because you're never gonna be happy. Also, right, as a wall comer myself, I'm never gonna be able to break out of the top 70% of men. There's a bottleneck in my system. I am not a wall comer, guys. I need to just establish. Sorry, I need to Google. I'm not Googling that actually. So I'll gonna knock at the door. I'm not doing that. My landlord's gonna be like, I'm gonna give you your 30-day notice, mate.
It goes hard to compete with these guys. Then when you get to the top 1% of men, and you get that through literally having like a 10 out of 10 physique, you're making $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month. At that point, pretty much every woman you ever see is either yours or she's another guy's who's at the top 1%.
That's just not true. That's just not true. You know, sometimes I feel like men who maybe earn, you know, that amount of money a month and, you know, have a great body and, you know, are very clearly good looking. Sometimes that can be intimidating to a lot of people because you might think, oh, there might be like a bit of a womanizer. They might not be, but like, you know, it's just that vibe that is around those kind of people because like he says, every woman would want him according to this guy. I don't feel like every single woman in the world is attracted to that type of person. You know, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Where the does he get these statistics? Wall comers unite! Yes, brother! Finally! Some representation of my community! That's not me, I'm not part of them. Right, I've heard about them. They'll not get me away from the fire, masturbators. That's my community. Starting to believe this guy is the 20%. Surely he must have done that before. Because I've never heard of anybody doing that on their wall. Only this bloke. So he's trying so hard to appear that it's not him when I feel like he has done it.
You do semen retention while...
Oh, mate. Enough of the willy stuff. Come on.
If you do semen retention whilst having sex, your testosterone can go up by 400%. Essentially, you have you don't nut. The reason why you will get the biggest improvement to your testosterone levels, similar to taking steroids, is because something in your primal brain realizes that you were so close to achieving the point of life and you stopped. Your primal caveman alpha male brain gets turned on and starts to think, why did we stop when we were literally right there? Maybe there's enemies. Maybe it's not safe. So let's pump him full of testosterone. Let's make him 4 times as strong.
Bloody hell. I don't actually know how to approach this one. There was just so much, intelligence in that. I have no idea how to really break this down. You know, I feel like this deserves a full, like, kind of distinction essay on it. So when you're with your partner, or, you know, just anyone in general, you need to kind of, like, torture yourself by not, finish it. Because... You want your body to think there's enemies around? Why? Like, I think, you know, when people are in the bedroom with each other and they're having a nice time, the last thing they're thinking is, ooh, I wonder if me arch nemesis is gonna come right here and come on me back. Not like come on me, not come. I'm losing me mind here. Not, your arch nemesis isn't gonna come on your back. That would be a curveball. That really would be an arch nemesis. You know, he's just always waiting, just ready to go all the time. He's been, you know, not coming the entire time, waiting for this exact moment. He's full of testosterone. Bless him. Anyway, this video's going really weird. I'm losing me balls, man. Why would you do this? You know, if you're both able to finish in the bedroom, like, enjoy yourselves. Remember that? Remember when people used to just enjoy each other's company and just, you know, just see what happens? Remember that? They were good days, weren't they? Now we've bloody got to think of enemies at all time. What are we doing? Can people not just enjoy themselves? Like, this guy mustn't enjoy his life whatsoever. Just overthinking every minuscule event.
Most guys, when I handshake them on the street, they handshake me like ladies. I swear to God, most guys that I meet now literally handshake me like a woman does. I'll stick my hand out.
Oh, not like a woman does. Oh, not them.
This, and they will give me their fingertips as if like this. This is how a really feminine girl will give me her hand when I'll shake it. And you know, like, what the f does this guy expect me to do with this little cute little hand he's given me here for a handshake? Mwah!
That was hard. That went hard. Bro has like 1,000 aura right now. Yeah, honestly, the same, mate. Like, every single person that shakes me hand like that, instantly I'm like, oh, you must be a wall comer. You definitely don't do it into the fire, do you? Like, just the way someone shakes your hand, like, I know that's kind of a thing. Like, some men like to do it as hard as possible to, like, assert dominance. It really doesn't mean anything. You know, like, the worst man on the planet could have a hard handshake, and it literally doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really tell a lot from someone's handshake. Some people just don't like doing handshakes. It's not really a thing people do anymore. Also, they might have been doing one of them. No, they're just like, bang, bang. One of them, right? I know the score. I'm very cool. I even greet my mum like that. I'm like, Mum, you alright? Yeah. Put it there. Cheers for bringing us into the world.
Heard this, and you've probably said this bullshit yourself. That like, oh, I started lifting weights and building muscle to get girls, but only guys compliment me, bro. Do you want to know why that is? Because you're doing stupid ass workout routines. You've built a body that's not even attractive. You should train to build an aesthetic body. Now, 100% train to exercise for the benefits of exercise. 100% train for fun and for challenge. But a fantastic, awesome reward of resistance training is that you can build an aesthetic physique that has a V-taper, that has like these lateral delts that curve around the shoulder like this, nice looking biceps. You build a physique that is the kind of physique that women lust over. Oh, well, that's shallow. I don't think it is.
Do you know, this guy, the more videos I see from him, the more he's just saying to me that everything he does is for other people. I know a lot of people do go at the gym to look good for other people, but then you're, again, never going to be happy because you're always basing, like, your own confidence off what other people think. The best reason to go to the gym is to obviously be healthy, but also just feel good. And just feel good in yourself and have some inner confidence. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because if you're confident in your own body, and that's all you need. If you're constantly trying to make your body better so more girls will fancy it, like, that's just, you know, I know it makes some people kind of, you know, happy, but in my opinion, it's not like the key to, like, you know, being happy forever, because you're always just going to judge yourself so hard. And a lot of the time, people don't care. You know, people really don't care if you've got a six-pack. Okay, last up, the final person that is trying to emulate Andrew Tate. Let's see if he can finally make us the alpha male that we're trying to be. Now, this guy is called Elliot Wise, and I believe he's like a really successful businessman. He does a lot of content kind of flexing things. He talks about family, but a lot of his content is kind of advice to like young men and kind of like telling them how they should live their lives.
I'm going to be the dad on holiday that's walking down the beach with abs and everyone's going, that's a good looking dad. My kids will see that. That's all I need to do. I don't need to do anything else, because they will look at that and go, yeah, I'd rather that than that big fatso walking down the beach.
By the way, this is on his own account that he's made this own edit of him. Like, he's actually sat down and like overlaid this and, you know, found all these clips of him. You know, this is my favorite genre of content. I always love this. I need to start getting into this. Maybe that's what I post on TikTok, right? I'm struggling to think of what to post over there. Maybe this is my avenue for success. It works for these guys. Why can't I do it? It's kind of strange logic, because you're basically saying you want your kids to think you're fit. Like, oh yeah, like, my dad's fit. Everyone fancies my dad. Look at him. Imagine having your dad. No one fancies your dad. Everyone looks at mine. Everyone wants to shag my dad.
So a gentleman should never actually sit with their leg crossed parallel to their body. You should actually have a downward tilt. However, I'm still have too much muscle on my legs and I don't stretch. So embarrassingly, I sit in a very awkward way, which is genuinely not considered etiquette. I apologize for anyone that I offend through my poor leg angle.
Thank you. That was the first thing I was going to bring up, actually. I was so offended at that. I was actually going to... I was going to contact somebody. I don't know who. I was thinking about ringing 111, actually. I was getting a little bit stressed. So thanks for clarifying that. Again, like, you know, imagine if you've killed 5 people. You know, again, obviously, like, innocent people. But as long as you sit like that, does that make you a gentleman? Like, it just has no real correlation to whether you're a gentleman or not. Also, not going to lie, as somebody with balls, that would, you know, sitting like, nah. Nah, right? That's my family plans out the window. I am a little bit gutted that this guy has so much muscle that he can't sit like that, because it would have been nice to see him actually demonstrate what it takes to be a gentleman. If it wasn't for his muscles being so big, if he wasn't so fit, maybe he could be more of a gentleman.
I've been seeing this guy, this streamer in the UK called Angry Ginge. He's been popping up on my socials a lot. I mean, the guy is getting an incredible amount of views, and it seems like his followers like him. But my God, if that's what the UK has to offer in terms of role models and the people that the young kids are looking up to nowadays, I would love to take him through a workout. He was calling his mate Chazza fat. I'm watching this video of him sitting there, clearly never going to the gym and eating McDonald's. I need to whip these kids into shape, mate.
Like, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but they all follow the exact same model of, like, you need to be, like, have a six-pack for people to, like, respect you. I don't know why they prioritize having money and looking like a Greek god over everything else. Have you thought that people just think that Angry Ginger's funny, or just like the way that he's, like, interacts with his mates, or just like his content? Maybe that's why he's so huge. There's definitely a lot of correlation with these guys. Like, they've made so much money that they've kind of achieved all of their goals. They've got every car they want, they've got the house they want. Like, there's nothing more for them to achieve, but it's almost like they haven't had the recognition for it, and that's the whole reason why these guys have all of these things, because they want to impress other people. So I believe that's why we're seeing more and more of these kind of Andrew Tate 2.0s, because they feel like, because they've been successful, like, they need to tell everyone else how they live their lives. But really, we don't really need the advice. Like, people are just happy living their lives and choosing and making their own decisions on what they want to do.
Most of the social media people you see online that portray wealth have none. The richest men I know stay clear of social media, because when you are wealthy, it comes with a lot of downsides, as I found out the hard way the last couple of years. So the ones that are making the biggest noise typically are the most insecure and trying to look like they have wealth. They're not doing it for wealth, they want other people to perceive about them.
Surely, like, I don't even need to comment on this. Surely you just saw how that was kind of being hypocritical in that video. He was saying, like, the people that show their wealth off the most have the least. Yeah, he literally overlaid his house and his Lamborghini. Like, I don't even need to do any commentary on that one video. That just kind of revealed itself. Anyway, Donuts, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did take anything from this, just know that you don't let these people make you feel bad about your own life. Like, just because these people prioritize, like, money and fame and, you know, getting with people over everything doesn't mean you have to. And, you know, living just a normal life is fine. If you do want to watch my video on the children version of these people, I know, click this video right here because it's absolutely wild.
Kirkham, baby!